basically went from just learning about basic bridge terminology to components, elements of a bridge and how to inspect it. And we went out in the field one day and inspected 2 bridges. There's two types of inspections that are done basically throughout the United States now. The AASHTO method, and then there's another method, and we've got to do it by the NBI method, which is a different method. But it just kind of gives you the ins and outs and of what's involved in inspecting a bridge from top to bottom to make sure you get the right ratings. I mean, the whole purpose of the rating system is so inspectors kind of get on the same page, that there's not very much variation between inspectors, so that you really get an accurate assessment of what a bridge is really like. And based on the inspection, they give it what they call a sufficiency rating, and you can really tell, when you need to start replacing bridges and which ones are more critical as far as their safety, structural capacity, and those kind of things.
It's pretty knowledgeable, huh?
Well, there was a lot. I mean, it was a long class.
I heard there were some additional tests that you wasn't expecting to take. Is that right? Is there some additional?
No, I knew that there was tests,
Yeah.
but there was basically 3 different parts, actually 4 different parts of the whole test, and you had to get a 70% to pass. All I know is I passed. I mean, they didn't give you your score; they just said
That's
pass
all
or
right.
fail.
Yeah.
But
Good deal.
I'm sure I got the highest score.
Yeah, hey,
Class.
you set the curve, didn't
That's
you?
right. That's right.
Was it a pretty good turnout? Was there a lot of people in there?
Yeah, they only let 30 people in the class.
And it was full.
It was full. Yeah.
Mostly just like you, county highway engineers?
There's a lot of people that work directly for IDOT
Okay.
that went. I'd say the majority of the class worked directly for IDOT. In their, I don't even know, they've got the state system that they're responsible for
Yeah.
inspecting. There was, out of the 30 people, there was probably, I'd say 6 or 7 that were involved with counties. I don't think there was any county engineers there, but there were a lot of the other counties have actual staff.
Yeah.
I mean, we only have me, I guess, here,
Right.
but they actually have engineers and assistant engineers and everything else. And that's who mostly was there from the counties.
And the way that would benefit Massac County for you taking that is what we can, instead of hiring someone to come in and do the evaluations or.
Now, I mean, I'm not automatically approved. I mean, I've got to mail off my certificate plus a form that I had to fill out and sign to be our program manager, which basically puts me in charge of all the inspections of our system.
Okay.
And yeah, if I didn't get certified, if I didn't have the class, you would have to hire a consultant to do it that's qualified to do it, and costs a tremendous amount of money.
Okay. That's good. We're happy that you took the time and passed.
So what kind of, do you have to take continuing ed or anything to keep this thing active, or how's that work?
Every 5 years, you have to take a refresher course on this. And it's, instead of being a 2-week course, it's a 3-day course. But it's still, every 5 years, you have to take a refresher to keep it up.
Good deal.
Did you bring in the support?
Yes, she did. Well, actually, she did,
Cheryl.
Cheryl did, yes. She said that they expect to get some fees from other offices too. Joe Miller was in here earlier and wanted to know if, October the 26th, they was wanting to do another one of those waste collection programs. It's through Honeywell.
Okay.
Would that work all right out there in your location, to have it there, October 26th on a Saturday?
Okay.
You don't have anything going on that day out there, do you?
Not that I know of. I mean, they want to use our
I think
gravel
that's-
area there? Or?
I think that's what they normally do.
Yeah, they just set up
Yeah,
where he
well,
is.
Joe's right behind me, we can find out. Do they just normally just use that gravel area out there? Okay,
And they may bring a porta potty or something set
Yeah.
up, you know.
we just wanna make sure before, we gave the company the okay that it was all right with you.
Yeah, I don't see any problem with it, October 12th, I'll make sure with our guys, but I'm, usually nothing's going on Saturday.
Okay, so we'll just plan then, you can call Rose, Bert and then let her
Okay.
know. And then we'll just get some, material in, we'll post it up like we normally do.
Okay, yeah.
All right, thank you. So, and here's, I don't know if y'all got anything out there you wanna get rid of, but that's things they take, things they don't take,
Okay.
so you might have something at your house.
Maybe, I don't know.
Also, I had a person call me, and maybe you can look into it, Bullock Lane, you know where that's at? Off of, the highway there. There's, if you go straight back that road, straight back Bullock, there's a road to the right, or there's a lane, it's called Maple Tree Lane. We just wanted to find out if that was a county road, or if that was a private lane.
I'm 90% sure it's private.
Okay,
I think somebody called out to the shed about this
Okay.
last week or 2 weeks ago or something, and
why they called me was there's a sign that says Maple Tree Lane with a post. And it looks like, it could be a county sign, but they've also put some additional signs on it themselves, the homeowner or whatever. And, they didn't know if it was a county road sign or not, so.
I'll check into it, but I'm almost positive Maple Tree is private.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, I'm sorry.
Old Karnak Road, you guys had hauled some gravel out there, and I don't know if it's settling out or what, but it wouldn't hurt nothing to hit it with a road grade or something. It's, north of 169, be the second county road. North of 169, turn west off of 45, go past Walk West Dairy from there.
I don't think we've hauled any gravel out there in a long time, but they've been out grading the last couple of days because we just got that rain, so
Yeah.
I'll contact David, maybe.
Yeah.
You say it needs some grading?
Well, it needs some grading, rock has settled out or something, it's
Oh,
wavy.
okay.
See, or something. I can't remember, I was gonna ask you something else, but I'll have to call you later. Can't remember what I was gonna ask you.
Okay. All right.
Do that, or I might have to start making notes.
I gotta do that all the time. Fine art of note taking.
You said what, later in the week you have another training to go to, is it Thursday or Friday or?
It's not, it's the fall county engineer meeting that I've gotta go to. It's, in the spring and fall, they have it's like they have a 2-day thing. It's like well, it's actually more than that if you wanna go for the social reasons, but I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
It's, in the first day they have like several speakers, and you do get professional development hours going to that. And the second morning, they have like the actual meeting. It's a semi-annual county engineer meeting. It's a statewide type meeting. That's on Friday, this Thursday and Friday morning.
Okay. Where's that held at?
This time it's in Collinsville.
Okay.
Last spring it was in Effingham. I mean, they have it all
They just move it
different
around.
places, yeah.
They ever host at Metropolis? Not yet, huh?
I don't think they ever get this close. Since it's, I'm actually amazed that it's that far south, really, because
Yeah.
it's for the whole state. I mean,
Mhm.
people from the north part all
Yeah.
have to come down that far. But I guess I'm considering myself lucky that it's in Collinsville instead of Peoria or something. I think not, it may be next fall, I think it might be in Peoria, so it's gonna be a longer
On the drive.
haul, yeah.
All right. Equipment all doing all right?
You know, sort of. I mean, I think we're in need of a couple things here, probably next year, but I'll have to try to work that out when I start doing the budget.
Has, you and Ted any communication if he's able to find any of the equipment
Well,
for
I,
the military?
I provided him a list of everything that we would need, and I was just kinda giving him some time to
I think he
look or whatever.
told us last week or the week before that he had found some stuff, but it was further away, but, I mean, that's, maybe we can look at the cost of the transportation and still maybe go for
Yeah,
it.
if it's in good shape, I mean, it may be worth getting because it saves a lot of money.
Yeah.
Maybe talk to him about it, give him a call. 'Cause I know they've been looking into it.
Yeah. I know before I left, you had talked about reviewing that thing that we were working out with the subdivision stuff.
Yes,
Did
and I know-
anything come about?
Yeah, I know Gerald had, some questions, cause he, but he's not here today, but maybe
Okay.
next week we can address it.
That's fine.
'Cause I don't know, it just seemed like Gerald had a lot more questions about it than we did.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Other than that, I can't think of anything, it's just,
And mowing looks like it's going pretty good.
yeah, for the last 2 weeks, we've had 4 people out mowing,
Yeah.
so. I don't know, we may still be mowing into November this time, but it'll be close. I mean, it'll be maybe the first couple weeks of November, and then we might be done. But even after last week, it warmed up last week and
Yeah.
rained and it greened up,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
unbelievable.
never ending.
I mean, it may look like we're not doing, not doing as well as we did, but we're actually mowing so much more this year than we ever have, it seems like.
Yeah.
We just had a lot of rain, different times of the year.
There was never a chance to get caught up this summer.
We did I mean, I haven't been here since we finished all the oil and chipping back a couple weeks ago, and
Looks good. Old Marion Road there to the Country Club Road, I thought looked good. It's a little dusty there for a while, I know, but that's just part of it, till the rain settled in.
I mean, yeah, it's sealed it off pretty good, I guess, and that, and Powers Church and Unity School, we tried to stay on the busiest. I mean, we got a map that I prepared that basically classifies the road from ADP, and we tried to stick to the ones that are busy, try to do that like that. I mean, my goal is to try to maybe do a section like that, at least one section every year, and then kind of do the patch work that we normally do throughout the county as well as we can. Just because I think doing a few roads solid makes for a better surface. I mean, it does, it just continuity, it doesn't create bumps. I mean, it actually seems to do a better job, but it's, it's all revolving around money.
It always is.
The road between the schools and Country Club Road, is that what you're talking about?
Yes,
It- You did 100% of it?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you do to smooth that out beforehand? I mean, you just try to patch what's there, or, I mean,
You really can't do much of anything to smooth it out unless you, I mean,
you start scar firing and digging up
yeah,
and start over?
unless you had, something like a milling machine, or, I mean, I know they can do it sort of with graders. You get these special blades with these teeth on the graders, and you could actually dig the road up a little bit and smooth it out, but I've just heard mixed thoughts about that. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it causes more problems as far as bumps and everything, but it's really hard to do anything to smooth it up completely. And that's one of the purposes of doing it solid. It does somewhat smooth it up. It doesn't create any more bumps by patch here, patch here, patch here, patch here.
Yeah.
There's really, unless you redo a road completely with, a milling machine and redo the crown in it and everything else, it's really hard to do anything with oil and chip.
Yeah, that's one of the, that's gotta be one of our busiest roads in the county right there, doesn't it?
It's just school, going
Yeah.
from back and forth to school.
Oh, yeah.
It's,
Teenage drivers,
yeah.
some point, I'd like to see that thing.
It sure would be nice if we could pave it someday.
Yes, it,
Tied into junior high where the city had went out to, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it would be nice. I mean, I'll try to make it a goal to do it someday, but I know we just have to save money to do
oh, I
it.
hear you, but, I mean,
What wouldn't like a stretch like that cost, is it hard to even say?
I
Is
don't know how
it
long
a mile
is.
down through there maybe? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
Well, That's your stomping ground, you should know.
It'd be just about half a
Let me
mile.
think, all those times I used to jog it, let me
Yeah.
think here.
I
It seemed
don't
like
think
it
it's quite a mile.
It seemed like it was 5 miles.
Get back on that jog, then you will know. Count your steps.
I think it was 5 miles. I was jogging.
To give you an idea,
Hey, Mike,
Guys,
are you about ready to crank up down there?
one question for you is, the hardware guy, is he scheduled? to-
Lynn is supposed to call him. It slipped my mind yesterday to call
Okay.
him, Mike. I
Okay.
mean, there's just Lynn and myself here. Now we've got a
Yes.
computer down, so I'm gonna have him come in, see if he can't get it up and running, but hopefully he'll be here.
Has she called him, or?
I have no idea.
Okay,
You can
I'll-
ask her,
I'll go
because
ask
she
her.
was planning on it when I was coming over, but I don't know if but she was waiting on genealogists.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh,
That's
you're
all
fine.
right.
Well, while I interrupted, now I'll ask one more question. Just to confirm, everything on Juanita's gets rekeyed into the treasurer's office, am I
Yes.
correct?
Everything financial, all transactions, they do rekey it, yes.
Okay, so when we pull data, everything we pull over there will also pick up what she does financials, to
It's
your,
supposed
best of
to.
your understanding, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Mainly, we're into the expenditure side.
uh-huh,
We don't do anything with revenues, except, what deals with county clerk's office and their fee funds. But most of it's expenditures,
Okay.
and it is rekeyed.
rekey, okay. That's the part we're eliminating, but I just
Yes.
wanted to verify we was
Yeah,
getting
but
all the
that
data.
is,
so-
that is true.
Okay. So I'll have Lynn give him a call.
Okay, and she was planning on giving it, but that was about 15 minutes ago, because we've got a computer down and I can't figure it out.
Okay.
We got power all the way to it, but it's not wanting to turn on.
Well, we're gonna get started.
All right, well, I'll be down there in a look. Do you need me?
No,
Right-
we're good right now. Just-
If you need me, come and get me.
Yep, you do what you gotta do.
Sorry about that, Jeff.
That's okay.
Anything
No.
else?
Yeah, what I was gonna say is that as a roundabout number, I mean, it all depends on how much a contractor would bid on doing asphalt and everything. It's really highly variable from year to year, but, it's somewhere in the range of 6 to 7 times more expensive to do an asphalt, a 2-inch asphalt overlay than it would be to oil and chip a road. So,
But would 2 inch even be sufficient?
that's what we overlaid the rest of Old Mary Road. From juvenile
there
south.
south.
Yeah, with the city money.
I didn't know
We did.
if that was,
I mean,
for car traffic, I guess that's one thing. There's not a lot of truck traffic up and down that
yeah,
road though.
no, it's just, yeah, cars. It's, as far as your lifespan of a pavement, I mean, it's always, obviously you get more life out of thicker pavement, but it's all dependent on your, what they call equivalent single axle loads. I mean, it's, depending on the number of traffic and the repetitive motions of the traffic and all that, but 2 inches would be sufficient for a good while on that road, yeah. So, but, 6 to 7 times more expensive is pretty significant.
I remember what I was gonna ask you. There's something to do on bridges. Some of them are considered some kind of historical site. Do you happen to know anything about that, or what?
There's a historic register of bridges.
There are bridges that just really can't be touched in there, or can't,
Yeah,
they can't be
well, somewhat.
taken out or
unless they're-
rebuilt.
Yeah. There is a historic register. I know this past year, they were actively trying to update and redo the list. As far as I was aware, there's only one bridge in our county, on our county system that is.
That's a
Or
good
it
thing,
was.
though, isn't it?
Yeah, and I hope it gets taken off, but
Is that the one at the end of Kenneman Lake?
yes, one down there.
On the
near
west
White
side,
Lake and the
west end.
Bottoms. It's just
And actually, it's filled in.
It's an old an old concrete bridge that, from what I understand, they put some huge steel beams across the whole thing years ago and filled the bridge deck in about 3 to 4 feet full of gravel so that farm implements could get across. It was a through girder bridge. There was tall concrete girders on either end that you couldn't, it was only about 20 feet, well, probably less than 20 feet wide, so you couldn't get, like
Anything
combine
like
heads or
there,
anything
yeah.
through there, or anything wide. So what they did was put those beams across, filled it all up with gravel, so that there's only a
So they
2
just
3 inch
going over the
curb, so
top
that
of
they
it,
could
yeah.
drive over the top. And, yeah, that bridge is in not very good shape. I mean,
Well, it sounded to me like it's got a heck of a load on it, just sitting there. Am I wrong? I mean,
that's why they put them steel beams
Yeah.
across there. If
They
they
kinda
didn't,
built a bridge on top of a bridge.
and, yeah, it's not a good situation, really, but it's been working for a long time that way.
I know just a little bit about that. When they took out the 1910 bridge, that was a historical bridge. And one of the conditions was you had to preserve another one similar to the 1910. And that was the only one that
Met the bill.
meant,
Mm.
I know that sounds silly, but that's,
Well, I was wondering about like the one on, I believe it's Massac Creek Road goes out towards Pansy.
I know exactly.
Truman Logan's up,
mhm,
you know where I'm talking
I know
about?
exactly where you're talking
It's
about.
got big concrete, they can't get anything across there. Is it, I mean, at some point in the future,
On the very upper end of Massac Creek, I'm not really sure where.
Yeah, it would be
yeah,
toward the end,
pretty-
as you're running into Comer Road.
Okay,
I guess it's right down in that little
That's
sort of
where all the
flats
four-wheelers
before you
go.
come up. I think it's Comer Road that it tees
Yeah.
into.
okay. I've been up to that intersection a couple of times, but I don't recall the bridge, so I'd have to go back up there and see. But you're talking, it's like a through girder bridge, like I'm talking about, it's got concrete walls
oh yeah, there's
way up
this
high.
wide,
Yeah.
yeah, there's, I mean, it's,
We've got a few of
I'm
them.
not sure two cars can meet on that bridge,
I don't
can they?
think it could.
We've still got a few. There's one on Unity School Road that's the exact same way, that you can't put 2 cars
Yeah.
back and forth on it. So I don't think, no, they don't consider every one of those historic.
Well, that's a good thing, as far as,
So, yeah, we'll
us
be
goes.
able to replace it someday.
it needs it, they can't get, I mean, it's hard to get equipment around there, but anyhow, that's just something to be put on our wish list, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, we definitely need to have a list.
Kind of
as
some
to-
priorities or something, you know.
I know we've had some people over the years complain about the Unity School one.
Oh, they're bad,
Yeah.
they're just as bad as this one, you
They
know.
would come in here and talk about
It
it.
seemed like there'd been maybe 2 or 3 narrow crossings right down through that.
He's got a couple of them
Area.
replaced.
Yeah, I think Larry had told us that was the last one, but over the years they had replaced the other 2. I think there used to be 3 at one time or something like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the one on Unity is not wide enough to be considered an official bridge on the system. It's less than 20-foot span, I
Yeah,
think.
I think that's what Larry was telling us.
So sometime in the future, we may be able to replace that one with some, you know, if this project on Waldo Church Road works out, we may be able to replace it with something like that, possibly. We'll just have to see. But if the one on Massac Creek is a 20-foot span or more, we'll
I
probably.
pretty much guarantee you it is.
Yeah, it goes over a pretty deep section of creek right through there.
Yeah, that creek's wild down through there when it
Don't
rains.
they get gravel from that creek right in there?
Several people do down through there, I don't know exactly where, but. Well, these guys get, are you still
Yeah.
getting creek gravel, any, or do you know?
Um,
They have in the
Well,
past
I think
from
we're gonna get some, but I don't know where we get it from.
right down next to J.D. Holland in that area. They used to, have you ever
Right
seen
there
them
off
coming
of
out
Country
there?
Club
Yeah,
Road.
on Country Club Road.
Yeah, they go back in there.
Mhm.
I'd see their trucks back in there.
I haven't seen them in there in a while, but I know we've got gravel there in the past.
Well, thank you, Joe.
All right, thank you all.
Have a good,
You guys too.
we want your new information
Did,
now.
oh, and I got what you wanted. You said you wanted this. I brought you
Jeff's
this.
making requests now, huh?
Yeah, he made a request. I wanna tell you everything, of great importance is on here. You gotta play it on your computer and the little thing will come up and it'll give its name and you can, whatever interests you the most. Can I toss it over there?
Yes.
And, can I leave one for Gerald?
We will, yep.
Okay. I'll talk about the disc first. there's a lot of stuff going on here that's kinda sneaky that you don't know about, or I didn't know about. Number one is the GMOs, genetically modified food that they're feeding us now from Monsanto with all their poisonous stuff. I don't know if you knew that, Monsanto made, in Vietnam, when they had that,
Agent Orange?
Agent Orange, that was all, Monsanto's deal. And, we have wars to kill off all our young men, our best men, and in other countries too, to lower the population. You know, they say, we take the best, always the best. Well, that's what's happened to our young men. Well, so they poisoned them there with that Agent Orange, and, somewhere else they did it, I forget right now. But anyway, when they plant a GMO field, these are, genetically modified, and they don't reproduce, or they only reproduce this food. What they have done is taken a lot of the nourishment out of the food and putting poisons in there. They went over to India first, and what they did, they told the farmers they could have, you know, because they're primitive farmers, they said, you can plant our crops, and that you'll have all this beautiful vegetables and stuff. So the people signed up, and they didn't, because they didn't have any money, but they had to use Monsanto's Roundup Ready, that's crops that were Roundup Ready. So what happened was these poor farmers in India and around other poor countries, they planted the crops, and they were good, but when they had a drought, they went to collect the water off the roofs of their house because there was no water. And Monsanto said, well, you have to pay us for this water. Well, why do we have to pay you for this water? Because it says in your contract, you put up your deed for this, and in the contract there, it said, we have all water rights. So anyway, consequently, a lot of people committed suicide because they lost everything. They had no way, these young, you know, these men, they had no way to do their family. And they're doing it here in our country right now. What happens when they plant these GMOs, the seeds, they cross-pollinate with these other people, and then they're taking people to court saying that they stole their product, Monsanto does. And these people say, we don't want their product. But nevertheless, it's a bad thing because it just cross-pollinates with everything, and then pretty soon we will be eating, but we will be starving. So that's not a good thing, so I thought you'd like to know that for, Joan.
Where are you getting all this information?
I get it all off the internet, and I belong to 4 or 5 groups that send me, you know, I'm a Tea Party person, and I belong to Ron Paul's, Campaign for Liberty, and several other, but they trade information all the time. A lot of it you know, you just don't know that you know. In particularly that our government has been taken over. We the people do no longer rule. Now you know that because our president signed the NDAA, the National Defense Authority. He gave himself, and he has no right to make laws, none. He gave himself the power to arrest you. He doesn't have to tell anybody he has you. He can put you in jail for as long as he wants, and you don't have any recourse, and your family has no recourse. So you can tell, and you can tell this, we're living under martial law right now because that flag in your courthouse is a military flag. Now I know everybody says, do you remember that day I come up there and talked about that, and all the lawyers were around, and I said, what's this flag doing in here? They said, well, what's wrong with it? And I said, what's the military flag? No. I said, what's that gold fringe on there? Did you get one of those papers, or was that before you? Okay, so nobody seems to know that that's a military flag, except us. So really, you guys are
I'm
Pay
listening,
attention.
I'm listening to you.
You might be listening, but you're not hearing.
Yes, I am.
Behave yourself.
You talking about the American flag, the gold fringe? Is that what you
Yeah, well, don't say it's just nothing. It's very
said?
important.
Well, I'm listening.
When you
to
go to court here, mostly they plea bargain, cause the judge and the attorneys both know that they are in a military court. And they're the only ones. And you should look into it. That's your business. You're the leaders of the pack here. You're supposed to keep these people in line. So I want you to go and tell him. Cause he's an employee. So, that's it. I wanted to know what you did about the guns.
About what?
About the guns,
When I came here last week and said all these, or it was 2 weeks ago, when I gave you that paper where 14 counties have, followed the law,
but we haven't prosecuted anybody that I know of.
but you have to, people are believing what they're hearing on it. They have to know that you're not going to prosecute them. How are they gonna know you're not gonna prosecute them?
Well, I think the only way they're gonna get prosecuted is if they are committing crimes, are they not?
That's true, but people believe the government of Illinois that they can't carry concealed until they get permission. And the judge has told the governor to pass a law. And he said, well, we wanna make some stipulations. So according to Illinois, we don't have a right to, or the Illinois government. But as far as the law goes, we have a right to carry concealed. But nobody knows it, and what good is it if you don't know it? That's why I'm here, so
That's
you
part
know
of being
it.
concealed, that nobody knows it. Everybody's gotta have a personal.
I'm not saying you have to say I'm carried concealed. I want you to relax and know that you can carry concealed at any time in this county is what you want. Now, it may not go for outside our county because you only make, your decisions here for this county. So, don't fight me on this. No, you really do. This is what those counties did. Really,
But Betty, it's actually, if you read that, it was the state's attorneys that said that they would not prosecute. It wasn't the commissioners, it was the state's attorney.
I know it, but you have to ask him. Maybe he doesn't know. Maybe the county commission said, you guys get together and figure out what you're gonna do. The sheriff and
State's
what?
attorney.
State's attorney, thank you. Oh, you are
I'm
listening.
listening. Don't you, before you can carry, don't you supposed to take some type of course?
Safety course,
Yeah.
of some sort.
Yeah, so you're
You think that's
encouraging
a
these
good
people to
idea?
take these courses,
Oh,
aren't
yeah.
you?
But that's, what you're not getting here is we have constitutional law. It's the supreme law of the United States of America, and all laws that are made in the states, in the cities, in the county, must abide by the Ten Commandments, the constitutional law. And it says nothing about permits or go take lessons or anything. It said it should not be infringed. The right to carry a gun should not be infringed. So that's period. So all these other things are good ideas, but you should not be mandated them because you got them free. What?
The sheriff.
My favorite sheriff.
Sneaking in behind you.
So,
I'm glad to see you. We're talking about 14 counties that decided to go ahead and let people carry concealed guns in their counties, because the law is already there for the state and for the federal government that we can carry guns concealed. But Governor Quinn is holding everything up because he wants to make a bunch of stipulations for it, because he wants to kill the intent here. So, do you know this?
Talked to Tim last week about it. I thought he was gonna say something to Patrick. I don't know if he ever did or not.
Tim, who?
Pearson.
Yeah, he said he was gonna go talk to him too, yeah, I didn't hear him. But, what these counties have done is, said, we have the law. The state law says you got a right to carry, and so does the Constitution. So, go for it. But this is, of course, is only in your county. But what happened was the, lawyers and the chief of police, or what are you? Are you chief of police? Sheriff. The sheriffs got together and they said, okay, we're gonna go, and we're not waiting for Quinn to make up his mind about what he's gonna do. The judge already told him to. It's a law, it's a legal law. So I want you guys to do it here in your county.
Well, we have Patrick, he's our legal counsel, so he's the one that prosecutes him. He's gonna have to make a decision if he'll do it or not.
But you still think, that
It's
we-
not a personal choice of his. We the people rule. Do you understand it? We the people rule. People want this. You're supposed to figure out to do it. So, he's not in charge. He might read the law to you, but the idea is, he is supposed to say, he thinks you can or you can't. But it's up to the people to do it. And, all this gun thing is 95% of people want to have their guns. They don't want to go out and shoot anybody. They just want to make sure they're not going to get shot.
you want these people that for concealed carry to take the course and have the proper training.
Well,
don't
yes,
you?
I do, but
Okay.
you don't have the right to demand that. Don't you understand that? It says without infringements, period. See, what's happened is we have lost our Constitution. Nobody pays attention to it anymore. That's why our government is to run amok, is because we, the people, do not demand our rights. I don't care about carrying a gun. I care about other people carrying a gun. Because it's, our government is getting totally out of control. What are you doing?
Oh, I agree with that. I mean, I agree with concealed carry, but we have to have the testing and the training first. We can't just have it wide open for everybody.
You're brainwashed. I mean, I think you're right, but you're brainwashed because it's not according to law that you have to do that. That judge told Quinn he was illegal. And I know you know that. So, we have the right to carry, period. No stipulations. Not carry it in your front pocket or your back pocket or under your elbow, you know?
Betty, wouldn't you feel safer though if everyone's had the proper training and?
Do you know, I have been safe all my life and people always had guns. I do not feel safe that our government is trying to take our guns away from us because history shows that's the first thing they do, and then they round you up and kill you. Now, billions of people have been killed down through the years because they had no guns. I'm sorry, but this is it. We have cars on the highway killing a lot more people than guns do. We have more people beating each other to death than we do gunning them down. There's like about 4 people out of 100,000 in the United States who are killed by a gun. The statistics don't support all this. They want our guns and they want them bad. Even China has told America to get on us because we don't have our guns. And they're the worst monsters in the whole world. They got those people living in cubicles and working all day and giving them nothing. And I don't know. Our law is gone. People are being frisked. I hate that. I didn't do anything wrong. Well, anyway, we have a constitution and we need to enforce it. Nobody's enforcing it. And this is all what my groups say is go to the counties. If we get the counties to do the Constitution and all the counties have the support the Constitution, we don't have to listen to or fight with Washington or anything. Those people have taken up, do you know that Barack Obama has 8 Muslims in high places there? They run the SNA or all those alphabetic things, TSA and everything. Muslims are in our government running our things, and don't smile because it's the truth. I think I got it on that tape. You sit down there and watch it, you'll just be stunned by what's going on. And I gave you 3 or 4 references so that it wouldn't be just from one source. So anyway, I want you guys to protect our Constitution in this county. Did I give you one? I came with 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Well, you wear me out. I don't know why people can't see this, that this.
Well, I support concealed carry, but I think they need to go to the proper training first.
Well, I understand that, but that's not your choice. Your choice is to support the law as written. Accept this,
I think
accept
the law
that.
says they have to get training, does it not? Is that the law?
Well,
No,
there is
that's
law
what I'm
right now.
telling you, you're
well-
not doing the Constitution, you're doing what Quinn wants done. He is not allowed to make laws, but if you're gonna do it, then you'll do it. But, it doesn't make it right. The right thing to do is to go by our Constitution. Don't be like these people that say it's outlawed. Those people came from tyranny, they knew what was going on. Obama has ordered 20,000 drones to be in by 2020. They're $300,000 a piece, and we're paying for them, and then they say we're broke. Do you want all those drones up in the sky? That's so illegal, that's traitorous. Why that man isn't in jail, I don't know. But he is doing awful things to our country. They've bought up, now they're buying up all the dry food, so people won't have any, can't buy that. They bought up billions of bullets, so there are no bullets in the stores to buy. You gotta see that we're taking over. They're buying heavy armored trucks, and does the government finance you in anything? No. See, they're not bothering little towns like us. They're bothering the cities. They've got armored things and SWAT teams, and it's terrible what they're doing. People knocking on their door and wanting in when they have no right to get in. But it'll be here. There's a lot of people warning us, oh, Mr. Putin. Now, I got a letter from Pravda. It was out of the newspaper, and it was, bottom line, don't let them take your guns away from you. I want to tell you what else Putin said. I think I'm going to move to Russia. He says, he went to his parliament and he said, the name of our country is Russia and we are Russians. When these other people come to our country and they want to start telling us what to do, we tell, he was referring to the Muslims, Shiite law. He said, if that's what they want, let them go to another country to get Shiite law. We don't want them here. We are Russians. And these people come in, these foreigners that want to have us do and change our language and have 5 or 6 different languages. No, they've got to learn Russian. They have to speak Russian. If they want to eat and work in Russia, they got to act like Russians, no matter how inferior they are to us. Something like that. But Teddy Roosevelt said that too. And you know that our country is changing badly when you've got Spanish in every store, and most of them are illegal aliens. I don't have anything wrong with them, but I am into the legalities of our Constitution. These people should come by the way to do this. But our government is allowing them in, and they're prosecuting both Arizona and, what's next door to Arizona?
Mexico,
Huh?
New Mexico.
Yeah, New Mexico. No, Texas. Sorry, my daughter lives in Texas. Texas and they're both holding back the line on the border there. The government is supposed to do it. They tried to, Jan Brewer in Arizona, she put her men all on the border, and he sued her and told her she couldn't do that. She says, I'm enforcing your law. He says, I told you to stand down, whatever. And that Benghazi thing is on that tape, where they sat in that office and watched it when that, you know what I'm talking about? That consulate over in Benghazi. When it was being attacked, they had drones above the building, and they were watching it in real time in Washington. And somebody told them to stand down. Those SEALs were told to stand down, but they weren't in there, and they fought and died there and everything. Because we were trading guns with those Libyans, Syrians, whatever. I get so crazy with all this, it's so awful. But we were losing our country. We have to stand up for our Constitution. So I want you to, are you gonna enforce the law?
It's up to the state's attorney.
This fake law, this is a pretend law. You have more authority than he has. Anyway,
Thank you, Betty.
Where'd you get?
On the budget here, information, uniforms, are we pretty much, is that expense for the rest of the year? We done?
On those, what you see is the budget, but it doesn't reflect how much was carried over from last
Okay.
year. That's where the back page,
Oh, okay.
the graph, that shows the true budget, what's left.
Oh, okay.
The last column there says 213 budget balance, that is what's left in the budget.
And contingencies, what was that?
Contingency is something a part of the whole general budget. I mean, that's really, I don't know why she,
I don't know what's on there for.
Okay.
and we're well over in it. Well, Jeff, that was another one of those karma come back to bite us after a much. I bet Marcia sent her up here.
Is that one with the Resty medical expenses? Is it showing negative 16,000?
I don't know what we've actually got left in there. I think there's still money left in it. No, I bet that, what that means is I think it's finally expended, because if you look up to 106636,
Yeah.
jail medical, she's finally taken $218.20 out of the line item.
Okay. So you think we went to that account then?
Yeah. We'll still keep getting money back in it, but it'll be slowly coming back.
How much money we have on like our drug account, like people we arrest and get stuff from them? I was
Your
reading-
drug forfeited
Yeah,
fund,
did you read that?
that wouldn't be in his line items, that's actually a fiduciary account.
It'll be like $20,000 in that.
Did you read the article some other day about, you know, that big drug bust they had over in Graves County? And the money that was in some of those sheriff's departments, drug accounts. A lot of them, you know, they have 100,000 plus, you know, from cash that they seize or vehicles they
Yeah.
get, or gold or whatever, I didn't know.
A couple of big ones, and you can build it up quick.
Right, and they said, John Hayden, they was interviewing him in the paper, he said that they can use that money, for anything dealing with drugs, even could be some patrol cars they pay for if they're focusing on drug activity with those cars,
We bought a couple of cars over there to the drug.
so, that was interesting.
A lot of ours goes
drug education programs, but yeah, we can use it for, as long as it's drug related.
That was a huge bust, $2.5 million worth of meth, and 100,000 cash.
That's a lot of meth.
No, but how did it, do you, like say when they get $2 million worth of meth,
Who puts
where
the
do you get
bags
the
on?
cash? Well, yeah, I mean, do you get any kind of, other than destroying it and getting it off the street, you don't get any
No,
financial thing out of it, I didn't.
it's $2.5 million worth of dollars of dope that'll destroy,
Mhm.
but you don't get any money out of it.
They
Matter
had,
of fact, if anything, you get a cost to get rid of it.
they had, I think, 97,000 in cash or something there at their house, and cars, and a couple residents they went to.
So over time, I mean, they may seize the cars, the houses, and all that stuff be sold, and proceeds divided between the agencies involved.
Which there was a lot of, there was 2 or 3 sheriff's departments and US Marshals and drugs and all kinds of different agencies.
ATF, the IRS will probably get involved.
Yeah. So they thought that was a regional supplier, the article said.
Well, that was Graves County, right? It seemed like that's, Hells Angels have an outpost in Graves County, I think.
Oh, okay. Well,
I think that might be what they thought it was coming from.
yeah. How's everyone going over the office?
Pretty good today.
Pretty full?
No, I think we're down right around 40, 42 today.
So you're still planning on going out and get some people that's got some warrants?
It's been, so the warrant was picked up yesterday in the courthouse, and they went and got 3 yesterday, 2 of them already bonded, we gotta go get 1 more today. As long as we're bonding, it helps us out. We really need to get a couple cells emptied so we can clean them, really. We've got a machine that fumigates and desanitizes over there, and we really need to get a couple cells down where we can use it. If somebody lives in them for a year, they get a little dirty.
How the cars doing, all right?
Yeah.
I went over to visit the gentleman that's in the hospital last Thursday.
Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah, is he making improvements?
They're hoping today or tomorrow moving to a different hospital where they get full-time rehabilitation.
There's gonna be a lot of words with it.
I'm hoping he's gonna get better quick, but it's gonna take some time.
Did they ever determine just what happened? Was it a brain bleed or?
And I don't know. I guess that's the scary part, that it really cost him.
The fire trucks there?
Catch away mice play, probably some of the sheriff employees over there. Like the siren.
So it's not Betty.
She may have her siren.
How we do the money wise?
Not
We
good.
got got $108,000.
That's good.
But you know what's next week?
I know, what's that?
They told me, it's a rumor, it's payroll.
And that's only the second one this month.
There's 3.
Yeah, there is
They're gonna-
3.
They're gonna get some funds from, I think some offices, you know, some fees.
You'll have the clerk's fees coming in, the sheriff's fees.
And we still, she said, she still expects us to get in, sales tax and income tax, we haven't got that in yet this month. So what's going on? You need some bills paid?
Sure.
Is Juanita, I don't know if Juanita's here.
No, she's not here today. She'll be back tomorrow.
Last week I mentioned something to her about the 60 days, I think it was about $2,200. She said that she would look into it, but I think they're on the 90s now,
Yeah.
right? So maybe if we can get.
Are you sure those haven't been paid? Or does she usually send the checks over to Sandy?
Sandy did this last Friday, so she's off this week, so it could have already been paid
Well,
before this.
I'll get her to check that tomorrow.
You want her to look at the 60 and 90s, which is 1,300 plus 2,200, be about 4,000. Be $5,000 a year. 4,000, about 4,700.
No problem. because anything can be paid to save a lot, they, you know, just a little bit. But a lot of times they say they don't expect the whole thing to be paid off, just paid some, if it's up $8,500. And I know we got a couple outstanding projects for me.
If we are, let's see here, if we budgeted on Arresti Medical, do you have a budget, a line item in your budget for that?
It's
36,
35, isn't it?
it's a 36, 99.75 on this back page.
Jail medical's 1066.36.
The rest of the medical expenses is 36.99. 99.75. We think Mr. Martin's on, that's for book four. It's on the agenda.
Is he on it again?
At 10:30. I don't know if it's.
Well, I'm wondering if we need to stop,
I had no idea.
like this one here is set up for that, if we have, is this what we've actually done so far to September, correct?
Yeah.
John is here if you, he's working on mine, but I.
Does he seem to think,
No, it's power, well, part of it's the power strip thing, or power.
I thought we
So,
changed that out.
Have we used up all of what we budgeted
That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like she's taking a little bit
out of there?
out there. And what'll happen is every month, money will be put back into this. It may not be $300-400 a month for a while.
But I'm wondering if, we should even be approving anything to come out of that, since we have used what we allocated in the budget, or do we need to?
Maybe she needs to make a new sheet with the 1066.36 on there, is what you're saying?
Possibly, I'm not sure. Is that a Patrick question, or who would know about budget? Because like last week when we took from one of his line items on his budget, we may,
Yeah. Typically, in the past, we've always took it out of 1066.36 until we realized that we could
Use,
use
yeah.
that money.
well,
Yeah, she may
It
know
just kept
something
building
that I
down
don't. She
here.
may know that next week we'll have $1,500 in there. I mean, that's something I can ask her when she gets back.
Okay. All right. You just wanna hold off on that, and then we'll
the
ask?
reason I was asking, didn't one of the, on the audits, didn't they question something about we had approved more coming, you know, we had signed more of these dollar-wise than
Than what's
what
in the
the
account.
budget was actually approved for. That's what I'm getting at. I mean, it's gotta be paid one way or another, but I wanna make sure we do it out of the right,
Account number,
yeah.
okay. You wanna hold off and ask Sam?
Yeah, I can take that back
Okay.
and then ask her.
Do that, or talk to Patrick or something, see what we need to do. When we get this new system up and running, Jason, don't you think them reports would be a lot easier? Cause
Sure.
I would say that would come from John's office, wouldn't it?
I
As
think
far
it
as,
should
I
be
mean,
easy.
I would like to at least have that quarterly, like, you know, like we're getting from
Sheriff's Department.
Sheriff's Department, that helps me out a lot. And then, you know, even show a percentage, this is where we're at.
Mhm. Yep.
Was that the only one she had for Rusty Medical? Was this
That's all I've seen, yeah.
And it's possible we spent more money than was budgeted for that because there was a carryover in that account.
Depends on the canine dog, that could be through the, that drug program when you collect money.
We've got an actual canine fund set up where we take a lot of the expenses out of that.
Okay.
Stuff that people donated the last couple of years, I think we've got like $1,500 left in that. She would make you one of these, shows it to us at the end of September, we collected $149,000.
Yeah.
And so you cut, if that was in there.
Nope, I didn't get one. Most of the time she does hand them to us.
What was it now, we collected what?
The fees, like when we serve the paper,
Mm-hmm.
those fees, bond fees, and the housing, through the end of September, totaled $149,171.
She's even giving us that monthly sometimes before, hasn't she?
I'll get these two to her and see what she says. But then, we've been all year long using Rusty Medical, is that what we've used?
I think so.
I think so, I think ever since we talked about it, I don't know if it's, I don't know if it was the beginning of the year or the end of last year, I thought we started using it, maybe. It's helped out.
I don't know which, if that comes off traffic fines or criminal fines, but it comes off one of them.
I think that account was what, around 12,000 or something when we started using it,
Mhm.
something like that. All that rain we had, do we have any roof problems over there at the sheriff's department?
No.
That's good.
I didn't heard Marcia say anything about this one. One thing she had water trouble yesterday was the toilets.
What happened?
Upstairs. The wooden boxes that she built around the urinals in the men's restroom, somebody reached behind it and turned the water on, and she said about 10 minutes before she got ready to leave yesterday afternoon, she just went for a check and was starting to ease out into the hallway.
Oh, my God. Hmm. I was telling him this morning that it's not her fault, but some of these people I think are out there smoking, they're not using the canister to put it in, cigarette butts, you know, all on the steps in the courthouse and on the grass, and I get to a point, can we take that away where they can't even do it? I mean, it's pretty lazy, I think they sit there and smoke, but they don't, there's a little thing that they can put their cigarette
Yeah.
butts in, they choose not to. She shouldn't have to be out there sweeping that up or picking that up all the time.
People should have more respect for the courthouse than they do anyway.
I mean, I don't know the guy working security, if he ever looks out there or not. If he could say something to him. He has authority to do that, don't he?
Charge them a litter.
You know? It's just silly.
It's just no respect.
Nope.
That's it. I'll go over these with Sandy when she gets back.
Okay.